Good afternoon. Welcome to Palm Coast City Virtual Town Hall. We're transitioning now from our COVID town halls to an idea and a vision we've had for quite some time, which is for a monthly town hall for me, Matt Morton, hello, Palm Coast City Manager, to be able to connect with our community, our residents, our citizens, and explain what we're doing, how we're working on our community's behalf. We have a lot of phenomenal departments, a lot of activities and things always happening. In fact, typically it's so much news and good information we can't get it out. So here's a venue where we want to engage, and in the typical town hall format, especially once we're back to in-person meetings, to invite members of the community to come in, to have conversations, to answer questions, and again, really show how we're putting your resources to work and how we're supporting our community in growing and developing Palm Coast. And so our very first virtual town hall today is going to be focused on Parks and Recreation. And that will be the format moving forward. Once a month, we'll pick a department. We're going to do stormwater. We'll wind up doing finance and community development and really engage and again, answer questions and let residents know what we're doing. So today, our September 9th virtual town hall, Parks and Rec, and we have with us today Lauren Johnston and Brittany McDermott. And so if you guys would just introduce yourselves to the community and give a little background.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Morton. We are very excited to be here and share with you what Parks and Recreation is all about. I am Lauren Johnston, Director. I've been in this current position for just over a year now, but I've been with the department for about 13 years, and I have truly seen such wonderful growth in our community and in our staff and in our resources that we're able to provide. And then seeing what the next vision looks like for us is continuous growth and more opportunities, and we are very excited about that. With me today, I have Brittany McDermott, and she is our Community Recreation Manager.
Thank you, Lauren and Mr. Morton. Happy to be here, and as Lauren said, it's just been amazing to see the growth in the community, and we're so grateful and happy to be a part of that and excited for everything that is to come.
So without further ado, we have
One further ado. Well, we talk about Parks and Recreation, and by the way, there's a phenomenal TV show, Parks and Recreation. If no one's seen it as sort of a play on local government, but when we think Parks and Recreation, we think trails, or we might think the community center, or we might think one of our favorite parks, whether it's Holland Park, or maybe we like Ralph Carter Park or Waterfront Park, or where can I walk my dog or do some fishing. But at its heart, at its core, I think what Palm Coast Parks and Recreation has always been about people. And I know you've worked tirelessly to develop relationships in the community, to show that we are about our community. In fact, our city staff's motto, the visionary statement we use to guide our decision making, is making people the purpose of our work, not a distraction to it. I know you guys personify that in the way you interact with our community, the programming you provide, the opportunities you provide. And so as we get into helping our community understand about Parks and Rec, it's truly about our community. It's truly about our citizens, whether you're a pinochle player, whether you want to do an erg competition and row, whether it's our phenomenal camps we do with our kids, whether it's swimming, bicycling, it's all centered around people. And with that, I know you guys have put together a tremendous campaign, again, that sort of leads into our multi-faceted initiatives of supporting more than one area of the community through our staffing and through our programming. And so you guys are here today to talk about
Explore, Connect, and Play. And to your point, Mr. Morton, our staff developed our why statement. So we know that people is our purpose, but why do we do the things that we do? And our staff came up with to enhance community so that everyone feels welcome. No matter if you're walking in the doors of the community center, you're taking swim lessons, you're playing on one of our ball fields, we want you to feel welcome, and it encapsulates Parks and Rec. So let's get to it. So here is whether you're playing at Ralph Carter Park, like Mr. Morton said, our world-class Palm Coast Tennis Center, or you're streaming down one of the trails or boating, you are going to explore, connect, and play with us. So our mission is we strive to make Palm Coast a great place to live, visit, and recreate. Our staff is dedicated to bringing the citizens of Palm Coast quality of life through facilities and programs. And in that, our department is made up of passive and active recreation. We have 130 plus miles of multi-purpose paths, and it winds through a diverse ecosystem of plants and wildlife. Our department also manages the Palm Coast Tennis Center, the Palm Harbor Golf Club, Palm Coast Aquatic Center, and the Palm Coast Community Center, which serves as the hub of Parks and Recreation. So why parks? Recently, our national association, the National Recreation and Parks Association, put out an engagement with parks report. And they came out with findings of, people visit their local park and recreation facilities more than twice a month, with 1 to 10 visiting at least weekly, if not daily. And we saw that through COVID. We saw people out and utilizing our parks and trails. And these are some of the facts finding from that. 3 in 5 people visited a local park, trail, or public open space or recreation facility during the first 3 months of the COVID-19. We were staying at home and we were trying to be socially distanced, and we saw people, trying to stay active and utilizing those healthy experiences. 77% of U.S. adults consider high-quality park and recreation amenities important factors when choosing a new place to live. It's, also shown in other studies that parks raise property values. The homes near James Holland Park are continuing to rise because of, such a world-class park that's going to become whenever it's finished, hopefully soon, fingers crossed. And more than 4 in 5 people agree that Parks and Recreation is an essential local government service, and we certainly believe that as well. So who is our staff? We have 73 members of our staff that stay on year-round, and then this number typically increases whenever we go into busy season. We had a abbreviated busy season this year through COVID, but we typically have more lifeguards and aquatic staff, and then also summer camp counselors, and we typically see staff numbers into the 100 range.
So, did you know, we put together some fun facts about what our department does and the services we provide. So did you know that not only we have 12 city parks, but within those parks we've got 8 playgrounds, 16 tennis courts, 1 dog park, 1 skate park, 24 sports fields, and also 6 public art pieces. That number is actually about to grow to 7. We are about to dedicate our new turtle at the golf course on September 29th, so very excited to see that number grow from 6 to 7. We offered over 115,000 rounds of golf. Like Lauren said, we saw so much activity out in our amenities and trails, and golf was one of them. People were getting out and golfing. They were so excited when we were able to reopen. Last year, we held over 2,000 activities and 300 programs, so we are busy, and we continue to be busy. So just some fun facts that we wanted to put together to really showcase what our department does for our community.
Looking at the golf number, I'm really encouraged because we made some changes through COVID. We made some changes to no more shotgun starts and timing in between cart rentals for sanitation and cleaning. We've asked some of our, patrons as they come through public spaces to wear masks. And I will just say that, very proud of our residents, very grateful to our residents and our golfers, our tennis users, our facility users who have helped us navigate the COVID pandemic, have helped us, comply with these rules and requirements meant to benefit all of us and keep our facilities open, keep us all safe. And so, some of those things that have been discomforting or, inconvenient as we continue to work and open up and ease restrictions when it's appropriate. Again, just very thankful that our community's been patient with us and borne with it and understood the need. And I think we're in a good spot, and we can show that we've had very strong facility utilization and have done a good job. Very proud of staff, as well as they've kept things clean, kept things moving, and have pivoted to enhance services, enhance operations, and work within those constraints. So I think it's another testament to, again, the good work that Parks and Rec is continually looking to do.
Absolutely. So, and just, a little bit about that transition that our department was seeing through COVID. I read an email that I received from the executive director of the Florida Recreation and Parks Association. And, she spoke about how resilient our Parks and Rec staff and industry and even our communities were being. And this quote really comes to light, and it's from John F. Kennedy. And he stated, "When written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters. One represents danger and the other represents opportunity." And we want to show you the opportunities that we took from challenges over the past few months. And part of that was providing quality recreation activities while respecting recommendations from health organizations. There was so much unknown through COVID-19, and, we really wanted to keep our residents safe. And we took these challenges to be more creative of still trying to stay connected. So we increased activity in our parks and trails during the stay-at-home order. We created events where residents can enjoy and be in a social, safe environment. And we maintained an accurate and engaging communication with our residents. And we're going to talk a little bit about our virtual recreation programs in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I remember how quickly this came. If we set the way back clock to March, I think it was early March, and we were having this conversation. We'd seen in China for a few weeks. We had come, again, very early on. We were one of the first, I think, in the state to convene our EOC. We purchased those aeroclave sterilizers for facilities. And then I remember that very next weekend, just a few days later, the Strawberry Festival.
Yes,
the Strawberry Festival was here. And that first day, we said, okay, it's outdoors, it's distance, what does this mean? And I think the event went that day. That evening, as we were doing in those initial months, reconvening, twice, 3 times a day to discuss situational awareness and where things were at, get status updates. And the second day of the festival was canceled. People were cleaning up and going home. And that sort of kicked off this new reality now that we've been dealing with since that time to today, sitting here in September 9th, looking to move forward.
Absolutely. So just a little bit about our staff's resilience and learning to pivot. Our transition from in-office to at-home office was as seamless as possible thanks to concise planning and communication from department leadership. Many of us were taking home our computers and monitors and setting up shop in our homes. All of our programs that we were offering overnight became in our backyards and with our family members used as the cast. And then our maintenance, while the rest of the world was slowing down, that didn't mean that the weeds didn't stop growing and then the parks didn't have to be mowed. And our parks maintenance guys, they came in every day, different shifts to make sure that they were safe and in different facilities, and they continued to work. And not only that, but we also utilize staff from other areas to help with that maintenance. We had, golf course cart guys who were throwing mulch in the parks and pulling weeds and, cleaning up after the bathroom. So it was definitely a team effort.
And speaking of virtual programs, this is definitely an unforgettable time for our department. How like Lauren said, we all had to go home and we had home offices and we couldn't connect with the community in the way that we normally could. So how are we going to figure out a way to still connect to them? We wanted to so badly. That's what Parks and Rec is all about. So like she said, we had staff that, their houses became the settings. We weren't doing programs in the community center. We were doing them at our dining room tables and in our backyards. And I just have to go through and highlight some of our staff here. The upper left is Cassandra, our facility and hospitality specialist. She does not normally host programs. She is the one helping with all of our rentals at the community center, but here she is at her dining room table teaching people how to do origami to keep people entertained. We had Kit, our line dancing instructor, doing it at her house with her cat. It's just pretty great. Everybody knows Miss Ashley. We cannot forget all of the stuff that she's done. She's so engaged with our toddler and youth community, and she was doing it in her backyard. I think her 2 sons were in the back trying to join in on the video, and she's saying, I'm trying to do this for the community. We had Kim, our marketing supervisor, with her adorable daughter, showing you how you could set up a campsite in your own backyard. We might not be able to travel right now, but let's do it right in your own backyard and have an adventure. At the bottom, starting at the left, we had Vanessa teaching you just go ahead and do a quick yoga routine at your favorite park. We had Lauren, of course, challenging people to do the longest plank in her own living room. Mike, I definitely have to highlight our community center supervisor. He was so funny through so many of our videos. He's got one of his sons in there, and he was making, I'm going to butcher this, but a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was his funny take on, it was the simplest peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Everybody knows how to make it, but how can we do it fun and different? And he made it like it was some elaborate French cuisine. His son just had a ball, and so did our viewers at home. And then we had Jared, our rec specialist of events. He launched our brand new esports programming. He is normally hosting our special events like Movies in the Park, but he's going to start a Mario Kart tournament and have people all at home communicating virtually and playing virtually. But the competition was great to see that come forth and to be able to bring that. Definitely an unforgettable experience. And we got that skill under our belt, so now we're able to move forward and still continue to offer virtual programs when we're not able to offer in-person programs, and also offer a hybrid approach where when we are able to offer in-person, we still have that virtual element too, so that we're capturing all audiences and what they're comfortable with doing right now. So definitely unforgettable.
And, you know, I'll say it again, our parks maintenance staff, they're wonderful. They've been short-staffed at times, but that hasn't slowed them down, and they've worked different hours, but in the end, what they're doing is phenomenal, and I'm very, very proud of them. So, whenever we started seeing restrictions being left from our, released from our governmental leaders, it was time to come back home to our favorite place, and those are our parks, trails, and facilities. So we wanted to do it slow, we wanted to do it step by step, but most importantly, we wanted to keep it safe, keep it clean, and keep it fun. You know, our staff member, Sandy, who's in the Keep It Safe picture, she works at our tennis center, and she made us all masks out of bed sheets that were purchased from Walmart. Our facility and guest attendants were cleaning and scrubbing the community center, getting ready for a summer camp. And then whenever, you know, the younger generation started coming through the doors of the community center, I don't think we as staff really realized how much we needed them to be there and in the facility with their super loud voices and, you know, constant laughs, but it was great to keep them fun and entertained this summer.
And we can't go without addressing our Mayor's 90-90 Challenge. We were shaping up to have the best participation and most engaging Mayor's 90-90 yet. And we were almost done, and then everything with COVID-19 hit, and we really weren't sure how we were going to be able to finish out the challenge. We did not want to let it fall by the wayside. We wanted to be able to finish it out strong. So luckily, after really thinking strategically through it and coming up with safety plans, we were able to bring that back on June 1st and finish out that challenge strong. This is just some images of the different community members that really got involved. Even mayor and vice mayor were in there too, doing their runs and playing pickleball, and we had so much engagement through social media from different community members that we really never had before. And then on the next slide, you'll see that yes, running and walking and biking were the most probably participated in activities. However, we had some unique activities too, and the way that we were able to track these this year was really amazing. We worked with our IT department and to get this onto Palm Coast Connect in a platform that we were never able to use before, and it really opened up the doors to all levels of activity. So it wasn't just tracking miles, it was you could actually track your minutes of activity, and the system intuitively knew to convert that into miles. So you were able to do an hour of yoga, plug in and say you did an hour of yoga, and it automatically put 4 miles towards your goal, because the overall goal was the 90 miles in 90 days. So that was our way of sort of getting around that and opening it up. And you have people roller skating. In the other category, I think we had people cleaning out their garages and doing house chores and whatever it was that kept you physically active. It was so cool to see all that level of activity And you'll see we did finish out strong. We had 249 participants, which I think is over double what we've ever had before.
Absolutely.
Over 22,000 miles and almost 69,000 minutes logged. So it truly was a really strong finish, and we're so happy that we were able to do that. Summer camp. We touched briefly upon this earlier. There was a time when we weren't sure if we were going to be able to have summer camp this year, and I think that was a truly devastating thought to all of our staff in our department, even ones that aren't actively, engaged in summer camp. And so to be able to push through and have it was so amazing. We were diligent with our safety plans and our staff training, and really it was a department-wide effort. We had to use staff that were already on payroll, and luckily, we're all CPR first aid certified, and we're skilled to be able to jump in and, like we mentioned before, pivot into those new areas. So we ended up with 142 kids over 10 weeks at 3 different locations. When school had to get pushed back, we knew that's still a need from the community. They need that childcare, so we extended camp. We were able to do that. But with voting in the community center, we had to find other areas, so we had to pivot again in the summer, and we were able to do that. I definitely have to recognize Miss Ashley, who's in this picture. Her leadership this year was amazing.
Absolutely.
Pulling this camp off through all of these challenges, doing camp in a totally new and unique way, and just all of our staff that helped make it happen was really amazing. And we're just so grateful. Like Lauren said, we needed that life back in the community center. I don't think we realized how much we needed it until camp came back. Just hearing like the laughter and the smiles, you could just see the energy in our staff pick up. And that is what we're all about, and it just reminded us that that's what we're all about. So very grateful. And also I just have to say we're so proud to be able to say that in 10 weeks of camp with over 142 kids, we didn't have a single known case of COVID-19 in our staff or our campers. And that goes back to our detailed safety plans, the diligence of our staff following all the safety protocol, and the coordination and cooperation from the community. It wasn't just us being flexible and resilient, it was the community being flexible and resilient too, that they really worked together with us and followed the rules, and that is why it was able to be so successful. So, love that we were able to have summer camp. And Food Truck Tuesday, this was another one. We weren't sure. It normally would have started in March, and we weren't able to do that, so we weren't sure if and when we'd be able to bring it back. And I have to recognize our recreation specialist of events, Jared, who again put together some detailed, diligent safety plans. You can see in this picture, the trucks are spaced out further than they normally would be. People are wearing masks, they're social distancing. And so luckily we were able to bring it back in August. We ended up with 360 attendees over 3 hours. So it wasn't all at one time. It was a steady crowd throughout the night, but again, manageable to where we could have social distancing and have it safely. And I was just amazed again at the cooperation of the community and how just thrilled they were to be out there. We got so many compliments and so many thank yous on the way out of just thank you so much for having this. They were just so happy to get out and do something again and be in the community but do it safely.
So we wrapped up summer very successfully, and we are into fall. Our new marketing supervisor, Kim Brown, has put together a beautiful activity guide, and it highlights 36 activities and counting that we're launching this fall. And it's located on our virtual rec site on Palm Coast Connect, so anybody can see it digitally. But I just wanted to read the opening note that's in the activity guide and really tell our residents how much it means to us that you're reading this guide. So, a note from us. If we haven't told you this lately, we miss you. We miss the laughter that booms from Miss Ashley reading funny voices during Teddy Bear Picnic, the exclamations of victory from the winners at Game Day Social, the scuff of chairs being squeezed in to make more room at a day at the movies. We can't wait until the day comes that we can safely and securely welcome you back to the community center. But until then, Parks and Recreation is all about providing you opportunities that explore, connect, and play in our beautiful city. And this guide is about doing just that. As much as we would like to have it back to normal, these are unprecedented times. We have had to be flexible, creative, and adaptable. Some of these programs you will recognize, Orange Rallies and Morning Blast Tennis, to be held in person, but with additional safety precautions. Sit, Stitch, and Give, Cooking is Fun are being held virtually through Zoom. We will also host programs that have arisen from this unique perspective, like our saltwater fishing tournament, esports, and holiday light flight are totally new concepts that encourage fun while respecting individual distance and safety. As all of this is new to you, it is also new to us. We will be utilizing tools, methods, and platforms that were previously unnecessary. We ask that you please have patience as we work through this new normal and get back to doing what we love, enhancing our community so that everyone feels welcome. And we are excited to do that through these programs.
Absolutely.
So here are some of them. I'm going to highlight one of my favorites, which is the saltwater fishing tournament, and it's back from our Julius Parks and Rec campaign. I took my 3-year-old son out on the water, and he caught his first snook, and he reeled it in all by himself, and he said, "Look, Dad, I caught a super big fish." So I am very excited that this one is back, and it's being held each month, September, October, and November. The next one is the Chalk a Lot event that's going to be held at the community center, and that is encouraging our artistic expression out of our residents. And finally, the Holiday Light Fight. This is super cool and super new. I know it might be a little early to talk about the holiday season, but some of our local stores have holiday decorations for sale already. And this is our spin on something new. If you've ever seen the movie Deck the Halls, where the two neighbors have a friendly competition of who has the best lights in the neighborhood, or if you've watched The Grinch, where Martha Mayhew has the string light or the lightning string machine, and it just goes pop, 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 pop all over her house, while Betty Lou Who is just stringing them by hand. Or finally, who is going to be the Clark Griswold of Palm Coast? So we're hoping that this will encourage our residents to sign up, decorate their house the funnest, and we're going to have judges to go around and see the lights, and then give awards and yard recognition. And then finally have a couple of different maps up on our site from our GIS department that shows you where can you go see all these beautiful lights in town. So this is one event that I am super excited about.
I'm very excited for that one too, and I think it's never too early to start talking about the holidays, but that's just me. I wanted to highlight Pollinator BioBlitz. That is our National Recreation Parks and Association initiative. It's going on right now. It started September 1st and goes through the entire month. They are encouraging local parks and rec departments to spread awareness of how important pollinator species are to our local environment. And what we've really loved about it is not only that, because they are super important to the environment, but it is a totally unique new way to experience our parks and trails. So while you're out there, you just download the iNaturalist app and you start taking pictures of butterflies and flowers and plants that are pollinator species, and you upload it, and you're helping scientists learn about the pollinators that are throughout our community while also getting your run or your walk in or whatever you're doing out on the trail. And you can find more information about it on Palm Coast Connect. We have a cute little honeycomb tile you click on and you can learn all about it. Kim and myself did our very first webinar where we were able to kind of talk you through it virtually about how you participate, because again, we're still doing a lot of this hybrid programming, so it's mostly self-guided, but we've got those virtual tools to help you as well. And then also our running series. This came about because we are working with Advent Health on Pink Army, which is now called Pink on Parade 5K. And we were sitting there wondering, how are we going to make this happen this year, because we can't all gather in person like we normally would do. And we came up with, let's turn it virtual, and it's going to be race at your own pace. So whether you're leaving your house and running around your neighborhoods or you're going on your favorite trail, you get to choose your own route. It's still on October 11th and still for a great cause of local fundraising efforts to help community members right here in Flagler County. fight against breast cancer or do early detection and screenings, and all that money stays right here to help our community. And so we thought, okay, well, this is awesome that we were able to work this out. Let's keep it going and turn it into a whole series and take it from October through February and highlight a different park and trail each month. So we have our Swamp Monster 5K at Graham Swamp, we have our Dolphin Dash at Waterfront, we have our Healthy Hearts 5K at Linear. So there's going to be a different one highlighted each month, and again, you can go on Palm Coast Connect and find out all the information about it. There is registration, and then again, we'll have some recommended routes and some maps showing what those routes are, but it's flexible and you can choose your own route if you'd like to, but just getting out and being healthy and active and just having a great time experiencing our parks and trails.
So the Palm Coast Tennis Center resumed limited operations in May, and we submitted a safe reopening plan and strategy, and our pass holders were very eager to get back on the courts. And we actually received a grant from the United States Tennis Association to help mitigate costs for maintenance supplies during COVID-19. So we were able to purchase some extra safe cleaning supplies and reopen for programs and clinics, and the pass holders were very eager to get back on the courts. So what's happening now with pickleball? Just like tennis, the pickleballers were eager to get back to their paddles. And so we've been doing open pickleball and also beginner pickleball on Fridays, and very successful. And in one of the presentations for council was, in our CIP plan, was the regional racket center with dedicated pickleball courts at the Palm Coast Tennis Center. So we hope that that unfolds fairly soon. With COVID, we're not sure on the timeline, but we are excited. The Palm Harbor Golf Club also opened in May with limited access and, abbreviated tee times, so that we were making sure that we could clean the carts successfully. And our success is in numbers. And as Brittany mentioned earlier, the golf community was eager to get back on the golf course. And you can see that the greens fees from May 18th to June 30th between 2019 and 2020, this is where the numbers show that, the golfers were ready to get out there, and we had more tee times booked and more people utilizing the field between the two years. And the Palm Coast Men's League was putting together a Mayor's Golf Cup that everyone was very eager to participate. And it was supposed to be held in April, but unfortunately through COVID, we weren't able to host it. And the Men's League reached out, and they are going to be donating an estimate of $2,000 to our Parks and Rec scholarship program. And we are very thankful for that partnership with the Men's League. And currently, you've noticed some caution tape at the golf course. They are getting a much-needed upgrade to the bathrooms, and we got new floors. And our partner, Green Lion, also received some kitchen upgrades for a much more successful operations.
And we can't go without mentioning our aquatic center and our wonderful pool. Last year we had over 1,100 aquatics programs in the 2019 season. Unfortunately, this year we weren't able to open due to COVID-19, but that doesn't mean that we don't have dedicated staff behind the scenes working hard to make sure that we are opening next year with a whole new way of doing things. Again, we have to make sure we're doing it safe, and Allie, our aquatics supervisor, has been hard at work making sure that that's going to happen, still taking care of the pool and making sure it's ready to go. We give countless swim lessons when the pool is open, and swim lessons save lives. So it's very important that we get back to those services, and she's making sure that that's going to happen. And again, behind the scenes, we had 3 of our parks maintenance staff receive their aquatic facility operator certifications. So still diligently working to make sure that we can move forward and have a wonderful pool season next year.
Absolutely, and those staff members will also help assist with operations of the soon-to-be splash pad at Holland Park.
Yes.
Our Sports Alliance was very busy through COVID and the transition. As much as our residents were eager to get back to, golf facility and tennis facility, the sports groups really wanted to get back on the fields, and they worked tirelessly to submit their own safety plans through COVID. One of the groups, Palm Coast Little League, was one of the first to submit and receive approval. Florida Elite, we've been able to host several successful tournaments that have brought in some additional economic impact to our community that we wouldn't have experienced before. And this is just a little glance at Palm Coast Little League's growing by leaps and bounds numbers. You can see from 2001 to present day that they're almost up to 600 kids per season. And they have 2 seasons, so, they're upwards at 1,200 kids a year. That's a lot of kids that they're serving. And through COVID, we were also in the midst of a field conversion where we took 2 soccer fields that weren't necessarily utilized all the time by our sports groups or our tournaments, and we converted those fields into 3 additional softball fields and 1 baseball, which will be the final outcome.
And as we briefly mentioned before, Holland Park, we are so excited to see this project come to life. There has been a lot of progress out at Holland Park, not just with the playground, but also with some other amenities. We got LED lighting over the tennis courts. We got a brand new state-of-the-art bocce ball courts. We got some shade structures installed, one in the small dog park and some right outside of the horseshoe pits. And then, of course, the playground itself, which we're very excited about. I know that several staff members have had a chance to walk through and play on the equipment themselves because we have to test it out, right? And it is so fun. If we can't resist playing on it, I can't wait till the youth in our community gets out there, the kids and their families, and get to experience that. Most of the playground is complete. We're just waiting on the splash pad, and it is moving along, and we are hoping for a completion at the end of this year. So we are so excited. This is definitely going to be truly a regional destination. This is an amazing facility, and we're so excited to get that open. And our community center, we can't wait to be able to open the community center. We are so happy to be moving forward in a soft reopening soon. We're still buttoning up the last bits of our safety plans, and we've actually reached out to some of our senior focus groups because we do hope to be able to offer some limited select senior programming, but we want to make sure we're doing it in the safest, best way possible. So we reached out to some of our focus groups to walk through, give us some feedback, and just see how it's going to go with them. We actually just had Pinochle there this week, and they gave us some great feedback. They are so excited to get back in. They felt very safe being there, and we want to make sure staff feels safe, so we're just making sure we're getting those last few plans put together, and we're happy to have gotten that feedback and move forward and get a couple other groups in there and just make sure that we're really ready for that. And of course, moving forward, we're going to be looking at identifying parking solutions. We all know that parking can sometimes be a problem at the community center. It is a very popular destination. The parking lot doesn't always support that, so we're looking at identifying some solutions for that as well so that we can move forward in a positive direction there.
And this is a current council priority, so council has recognized that, the citizens have asked for us to look at solutions, so we hope to be bringing that forward to council soon.
Absolutely.
The Palm Coast Arts District was just talked about yesterday at City Council, and we are establishing the district's geographical boundaries. We are reaching out to our key stakeholders inside the district, like the Flagler Auditorium, the Palm Coast Arts Foundation, the Flagler County Art League, but we're hoping that the Arts District drives arts in our community and getting those collaborative pieces along with all of our cultural arts groups.
And have to talk about Explore, Connect, Play. We mentioned it in the beginning. We're so happy that we were able to conceptualize and launch this concept this year. It is our new marketing concept. When we started going through all of this transition and dealing with COVID-19 and just how important consistent communication is, we realized that we really needed this cohesive message that could bring everything together, bring all of our different communication platforms through the hub of Palm Coast Connect and just bridge all of that together. So Out came Explore, Connect, Play. This truly encapsulates the core of Parks and Rec and what we do and how it reaches out to the community and ties in local businesses and ties in our council priorities and our broader communication goals. So we're exploring the parks, we're exploring the trails, we're exploring the arts, we're connecting with the community, we're connecting through different methods of Palm Coast Connect and our activity guide like we mentioned before. We're playing in the parks, we're playing sports, we're playing golf, tennis, all of that. So it just truly bridges all of that together, and you'll see this messaging throughout everything we do. We've already started using it. You'll see the words as hashtags in social media posts. You'll see the icons in some of our graphics. You'll see this messaging in our news releases. It's just all tying back to explore, connect, play. It's what we're all about. It's what our community is all about. And I believe Kim has a video to show. It's a video that she put together that's probably one of my most favorite videos that has come out of our department. So we would like to show that today.
Here we have, exactly, over here we have a magnolia tree, also commonly found in Florida, and at certain times of the year, a pine cone shaped pod will blossom into beautiful white flowers all over the tree. And then over here we have a muscadine grapevine.
Thank you. I think Kim did a wonderful job with the video that encapsulates our department, and we are very excited for everyone to see the video.
So, these town halls are great, and I hope people appreciate it, and, an opportunity to kind of understand where we're at currently as a city, where we're headed. There's a lot of big priorities moving forward for Parks and Rec. Again, I know we've mentioned it a few times, but Holland Park is on schedule. It's on schedule to open. I believe it's around December.
Yes.
And things are progressing well. I know we have a lot of energy and effort put towards, enhancements and coordination of our trails and our open spaces, our programming, our activities, how we interlace that with our Be Local, Buy Local when we're talking about recreating in our community and what our local opportunities are to support our community, our businesses, and our groups here, our leagues and our sports alliances. There's just so much happening. And again, that's one of the reasons we wanted to start doing these monthly town halls, was to be able to share with our community how we're prioritizing you, our citizens, to be the purpose of our work. And so, again, from that Parks and Recreation perspective, really appreciate the opportunity to understand the human connection, why you do what we do, why we are here as a city, quite simply to serve our residents. So with that, part of the town hall format is to take questions and answer those questions with information. And we did receive a couple questions, and we're running out of time, but we'll sort of summarize these really quickly. The first two are really revolving around pickleball. Lauren, and I'll jump in and answer that one. And essentially the question is, what is the status of new pickleball courts in Palm Coast? Pickleball courts were funded in the fiscal year 2019, so last year's budget. There were 6 courts that were going to be built out at Ralph Carter Park, and we decided before construction began that rather than continue to operate and build in silos, that figuring out a way to utilize those funds and create a more dynamic and sustainable environment for all of our racket sports. Getting to know the racket sport community. We've learned that a lot of people will play pickleball before or after tennis, or maybe there's some folks who don't or are physically unable to keep up with some of the rigors of running on a hard court for tennis, but can thoroughly enjoy and do enjoy a very robustly competitive environment built around different skill levels of pickleball. And so the thinking was, and it was just reaffirmed as a council priority through the strategic action plan process and the budget process we're in right now, which is going to come to a close here very shortly, to go ahead and program improvements to our tennis facility to make it a regional racket facility, to look for P3s, which are public-private partnership opportunities, to create something of greater sustainability, lower cost to our residents, and greater dynamic potential as far as usability and sense of place and play and activity and amenity. And we've got some of those great combinations happening out, of course, at the golf course with our partner in the Green Lion, and the opportunity to come sit on the deck, hit a bucket of balls, or have lunch after a game, a walk down to the waterfront, right? We have these multi-chair opportunities. You can do foot golf out there. And so looking to the future of how we keep our amenities sustainable, lower cost to our residents, more active and dynamic and growing and changing with the times. It is an adopted priority. We are going to put some energy towards the P3 and improvements to the regional tennis facility this year. So looking forward to that. And that's all to say is pickleball is an integral part of that. And so I believe it will more than be worth the wait of us doing it correctly and doing it right the first time, making these investments count, making every dollar we invest in sports count. And I think that will happen in this regional facility. And it will be, again, a facility where we're going to combine all that energy and passion around racket sports with the appropriate level of amenity and staffing and maintenance, and translates to a better experience for our community. So looking forward to that and really appreciate that question. And then another question we got, Lauren or Brittany, I hope you could take. Someone's inquiring about shade at the benches at the Holland Park tennis courts. Lots of people, many of them older, play tennis and pickleball there, and there's no shade. Sometimes the gazebo is closed. Are you considering any shade coverings, any additional benches or coverings over those benches, such as other parks have?
Yes, we are. We are in the final stages of getting quotes and hopefully can select a vendor using some of our contingency dollars for the park project in its current phase. So we are very hopeful that at our December reopening that we will have those installed this part of this project.
Fantastic. And then the last question we had today was, what is your plan on ending the mask mandate? And at this point in time, we continue to follow the guidance and recommendations of the Center for Disease Control. We continue to look to our Flagler County Health Department and our State Surgeon General, Scott Rifkes, on that guidance. And right now, masks are still recommended by the CDC when you can't distance, when you're doing indoor activities. And I think we're starting to get those pretty used to wearing masks, and we're seeing it work. We're seeing it work, especially here in Flagler County, with very low numbers as far as COVID goes, as hospitalizations and other incidents. So we'll continue to look for that guidance and follow that guidance from disease control, from our health officials, to do our part in leading through, again, an unprecedented time. And so with that, I really want to thank everyone who's watched this video, either live while it was happening, or will watch it later. I would encourage you, if you have additional thoughts, ideas, suggestions, questions, comments, go ahead and reach out. A great way to do that, of course, is through Palm Coast Connect, and you can leave a question, and we'll get a great answer and be able to be tracked. We have the tile, as you guys mentioned, on the Palm Coast Connect page with Parks and Rec. And there's links to our virtual programming. There's links to events and activities, news releases, other videos, a lot of great resources and material. And again, thank you to Lauren, Brittany, to everyone who has put a lot of energy and effort, who's been very resilient standing with our community in that resilience through the COVID-19 pandemic. We look for a lot of exciting things to come. We look forward to the next town hall again next month, and we'll dive in. I believe next month is stormwater. and learning more about our stormwater system, our swales, how we monitor, maintain stormwater, how we are planning for the future of stormwater infrastructure and what that means to our community in terms of networks, water quality, how the enhanced stormwater program is being executed within the city, some of the improvements, and getting to understand the maintenance cycles and what maintenance means of this massive stormwater network that we have as a community that ITT built for us, years ago. So with that, I want to thank everyone for participating. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to the next town hall as an opportunity to continue to communicate with you, our residents, and to share what we're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So much.